everyone, it's Jay the Nerd here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below to get all the nerdy content you ever need every Saturday. Now, today we're going to do my favorite video that I do every single month, which is my nerdy monthly favorites video. And I have a lot to talk about this time. Just for, disclaimer, my number one favorite anime I watched this month was Fruits Basket remake from 2019. But I already dedicated an entire video to gushing about it, so I'm not going to take the time to talk about it in this video, but make sure if you haven't watched it to go watch it. Okay, so first we're going to talk about anime. Now, there are several anime that I am watching this season, and I also made a previous video talking about the anime I'm going to watch this season if you also want to check that out. But, so I'm only going to talk about my favorites of all the ones that I'm watching. And the first is My Next Life as a Villainess Season 2. Now, I did a review of Season 1 a while back, and man, Season 2 is even better. If you don't know what it's about a girl who reincarnates into a dating sim game that she was obsessed with when she was a teenage girl in her previous life, and she reincarnates as the villain in that game, and it's her goal to give her a better outcome than she has in the game and not be a villain anymore. And it's hilarious, and Season 2 is even funnier than the first. And the second one, which is a brand new anime, is Remake Our Life, which is about a 28-year-old game developer who is kind of failing at life and regretting things, and he goes to sleep one night and wakes up as his 18-year-old self and gets a second chance to go to art school and basically redo his life and make it a better life. And I freaking love it so much. It has the cool college vibes kind of shows that I really like, and it's also supernatural, with time travel, which I'm a sucker for time travel stuff. So it's really good. All the characters are really fun. The concept is really fun. I find myself really excited to watch it every single week because it's just fun, is what it is. It's just fun. So if you're looking for, simple fun, I definitely suggest Remake Our Life. And then finally, we're going to talk about Beastars Season 2. Now, Beastars is one of my favorite anime of all time, and I am caught up on the English translation of the manga because the Japanese one is done, but the English one is still catching up, and I'm caught up with that. And Season 2 so far is good. I haven't finished it yet because I'm watching it with my mom and my fiance, so we're having to coordinate schedules and get together in the evenings on Thursdays once a week to watch some episodes. So I have not finished the season yet, but we're almost there. I think we have 3 or 4 episodes left, so we should be able to finish it soon. But so far, I really love it. It's a different experience, watching Beastars this time and actually knowing what's going to happen because I've read the manga. And let me just say that the Season 2 opening song is a banger, and I fucking love it so much, and I listen to it all the time. It's great. Next, we're going to talk about manga. Now, things have been really hectic this month. I started a new job a few weeks ago, so I haven't read a whole lot of manga, but before I started that job, I read the first 2 volumes of After the Rain, which is one of my favorite anime of all time. It's one of my favorite romances. It's beautiful. I've talked about it in a previous video. But the manga is just so good, and I love it, and it's so fun to read, and I can't wait to finish it. There's 3 more volumes. It's only 5 volumes, and then I'll be done, and it's just a fun read. Next, we're going to be talking about video games. Now, I only have one game to talk about this month because it's the only game that matters to my brain right now, and that is Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV has taken over my life in the last 3 or so weeks. I started it a few weeks ago. I think a week before my new job started, so it's been a few weeks now. And I've been addicted to it. It's literally all I think about. when I'm not working and doing schoolwork, it's basically what I'm doing is playing FF14. If you don't know, it's an MMORPG. Full disclaimer, I've never played an MMO before. I got a free trial of WoW like years ago and played it for like 10 minutes. And I played like RuneScape sort of, maybe off and on, but not really seriously. So this is really like my first legitimate MMO experience, and I love JRPGs. I love Final Fantasy, but I put it off for a very long time because of my social anxiety and the fact that with MMOs, you have to play with other people, and it would be one thing if I had a group of friends that I loved and trusted that played the game, so then every time I had to do a dungeon in a raid, I know that I would be with people I'm comfortable with, but I don't have any friends that play. My fiance plays, and that's about it. So whenever I have a dungeon, I always do it when my fiance's around, so I at least have one person in the party that I know, but I have social anxiety and I have a huge fear of disappointing other people and of failure, and that really comes into play, especially because I am a tank, which basically means that I lead the party and I draw the enemies to me and I take the damage while everyone else, you know, damages the enemy, and, you know, I have to lead, and with my social anxiety, sometimes it's hard, and especially in the beginning, it was hard. The more I know how to play, the easier it gets, but I still have a twinge of nervousness every single dungeon and raid that I do, and it's fun, so I push through it, but it's still something that I have to deal with, and luckily the community has been really nice. I had one experience where people were really toxic and mean to me, and I just logged out and I said fuck it, and I restarted that dungeon so I could play with other people, but so I've only had one bad experience. But yeah, it's just getting over my social anxiety of everything, and like, I wish that I had the guts to like say in the beginning of dungeons and raids and stuff like that, hey, I have anxiety, so that people are aware. But I'm not that good for not that good at standing up for myself, but that's a whole other conversation. But anyways, FF14 has pretty much taken over my life, and I love it so much. The story is amazing. Alphino is my favorite character in the entire universe from that game, and I love him so much. And I'm in the middle of Stormblood, almost to Shadowbringers. I've heard so many good things with Shadowbringers. I freaking can't wait to get to it, but I love Final Fantasy XIV so much, and it's become one of my favorite games in the world, which I never thought would happen with an MMO, but here we are. So, next we're going to talk about TV. Now, the only TV thing that I've really watched was this mini-series, or like series of movies, I don't know what you would call it, called Fear Street, that is on Netflix. And it's basically like an homage to like slasher horror movies. The first part takes place in the 90s, the second in the 70s, and the third in the 1600s. And it all follows this town that's basically cursed with like bad shit happening to them, and I won't go any farther than that. It's really good. It can get really gory and nasty sometimes, like in the second part in the 70s. I do not get queasy very easily, and I like gore. Even I got like nauseous and couldn't finish my dinner when I was trying to eat dinner and watch part 2, so just giving you a warning there. But if you like slasher horror, I really highly suggest it because it's really good. And then movies. I watched In the Heights, which is the movie's based on the musical In the Heights, which I had never seen before, but I had heard really great things about it, and the movie was really good. I loved it. The songs were catchy, the characters were great, the main actor was really attractive, and it's just really good. And if you like musicals, I highly suggest that you watch it. It was on HBO Max. I think that it's not anymore. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. If not, you can see it in theaters if you're comfortable with that. Anyways, that was all I had to talk to you about today, and I will see you next Saturday. Bye!